Hi everyone, I don't have a great amount of battery, so I'm going to try to make this quick. A lot has happened, but I am recording this in August. I don't know if it'll get edited and uploaded in August, but hopefully. So in my last video, which was at the beginning of August, it was technically my July update, I said some things that are false. I said I wasn't in the Halloweeny mood, and so that's why I wasn't stitching on Electra, and it was true. I was not in a Halloweeny mood, and I did not feel like stitching anything Halloweeny. But then something happened like later that week, and that changed. But I have not worked on Electra anymore, and I really want to finish her, so maybe I'll finish her in September or October, but I'm just not really sure. But story time. So what happened was, I went to go check out my college campus before school started, and every weekend in the parking lot there is a flea market. And so for kicks and giggles, my family and I went, and we went and checked out where my classroom was and all that stuff, and then went to the flea market afterwards. I found a couple of things. So the first thing that I found was a picture frame, and it was kind of like hidden behind all this other stuff, and it was like in this stall that I wasn't really looking at, but my dad was looking at like tools or something in like the stall next door, and I was just waiting for him, and it was hot and we were in the sun, and I look over and I see something, and it's this picture frame, and my exact train of thought was, oh my gosh, this is so gaudy, I need it. So the glass is a little dirty, but this is the picture frame that I found. And so it's kind of like a brassy, like copper look, and it has like these plastic orange gemstones around it and stuff. And I seriously just saw this, and like, I need to stitch something Halloweeny, and it's like, I need this frame, and I need to stitch in it. And so I got it, and that was $1. And I got, in like another stall there was like a woman selling pins, and so I got a couple, or I got one that I wanted to make a needle minder out of, and I got one that was like a, it was Mickey Mouse, it was like a Mickey Mouse shape, and it had like the magic wand on it, and so I gave that to my friend who is moving down to LA, and is a huge like Disney fan, and so I gave that, and she really liked it. Let me see if I put the other pin that I found over here. I did. My little box of to make needle minders from. I found this little unicorn as well. I just thought it was kind of cool, and it's flat, so I figured this would make a good needle minder. So yeah, so those pins were $1 each, so that was fine. So I spent $3, and I found things that I really liked, so not bad. But as soon as I got home, I said, what am I going to stitch in this? I need to stitch something in this, and it has to be Halloweeny, and I have to start it now. And that's basically started my kick. So I found this like on Etsy, and I'll put a link down below, and I'll try to post a picture of like the mock-up here. Okay, so that should be there, and then this is as far as I've gotten, and then I got a little board with it. I don't know if you guys gonna do something a little unorthodox. I'm gonna use my phone's flashlight to try to show this to you guys, because it's dark. So I just took a piece of fabric, and I dyed it black, and it has like a little bit of modeling to it just because it didn't take the dye evenly. And I started stitching on this, and it was just the right size to fit in this frame, so it was like a match made in Halloweeny heaven. And so yeah, so that's as far as I got. I'm actually changing, I used a different purple. I'll try to say right here what purple I used, but this isn't exactly what the pattern called for. I'm doing it kind of different. So that's the pattern I found. I found like a free version of the pattern, but I didn't like it as much, and so I tried buying the pattern off Etsy. I'm not sure which one is the original, or if they are stolen and then put on Etsy. There's no way of knowing these things, but I did buy the pattern, and I used like some of the colors and designs from the from the free pattern and the purchase pattern, because they were the same pictures, the same jack-o'-lantern, but it has different colors and like slightly different, it's slightly charted different. So I'm just kind of like mashing the two together and trying to get the best that I can, and I'm happy with it. So that was my new start, my first new start I should say, and that will hopefully be finished very soon. The next thing is that I actually went to go, my dad and I have been planning this for 3 years, and it was my graduation gift that he gave to me, is that he drove me to Oregon to see the eclipse because I really wanted to see the total eclipse. And oh my gosh, you guys, it was so pretty. I hope you guys all got to see it. Like, totality is so magical, and I can't put it into words. Like, there are no human words to describe the feeling of seeing a total eclipse. And my dad liked it so much, he's actually going to make that his retirement. After he retires, he's going to try to be an umbrophile or eclipse chaser, and he wants to make that his retirement, is to try to chase eclipses so he can see the total eclipse as much as he can. And that was his first time seeing it, and that was my first time seeing it. It was really cool. And my dad's like a big like science nerd, so I got to see him act like a little boy. Like, my dad's not emotional, but he was like as happy as like a little boy on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day watching the eclipse. And like, there was a 13-hour drive back that only took 8 hours to get there, so that was still a lot of driving. And he had, oh bless his soul, so we took Monday off so we could see it, but he had, he's a teacher, he had back to school night that Tuesday, the next day, and we left at 11 o'clock in the morning after the eclipse. That was at like 10 or 10:20ish. We did not get home until 1 o'clock in the morning. We had a 13-hour drive. A trip that took us 45 minutes to get from the hotel that we stayed in to where we saw the eclipse. It was like a 45 minute drive. It took us 4 hours. Just the traffic was crazy, and then that added to our time and other stuff. Like, oh gosh. And he was at work the next day at 7 o'clock. Bless his soul. But I wanted to stitch this. It's called Dance of the Total Eclipse, designed by Marky McDonald. You can see there. I'm sorry, I have glare. This unfortunately did not arrive until after we got back, but that's okay. I have, what is it, until 2024 to stitch this for the next total eclipse. So that's not too shabby. Yeah, so I want to stitch her, but I'm gonna do a conversion just because I don't feel like greens, pinks, and blues and reds are really moonish or eclipsous. So I think I'm going to actually make her more like, because I think I'm gonna make her more like moon-like and make her like all kind of monochromatic with grays and whites and maybe black and like the darkest bits in her dress. So I'm working on that. And then, as they say, no chart should travel alone. I also got this. It's by White Willow Stitchings. It's called Dark Rose number 008-003. You can see all this information here, but again, I'll link this down below. So it's just this dark rose. It uses 6 skeins of black, and it isn't showing up very well in the picture, but it has a lot of dark blues and purples, and that's what I want to stitch on the back of that shirt I was showing you that I was gonna stitch on. That's the chart I want to stitch on there. And then so originally I was looking at the rose pattern, the one I just showed you, and then I saw the total eclipse pattern. I'm like, well, I have to get that. I'm gonna go see the total eclipse, right? And I ordered this like a week before the eclipse happened, and I thought I would get it before then, but I didn't. Got it 2 days after, Tuesday. I ordered it late Monday, and so like the order would have gone on Tuesday, and I got it the following Tuesday, but the eclipse was Monday, and we left on Saturday to see it, but that's okay. But then by the same designer, I guess, as the eclipse, there were things based on the solstice and equinox. So the things come in like sleeves or envelopes, and they have like a little card in them that says like, thank you for your purchase, blah blah blah, and so you can't see the whole thing. But Dance of the Winter Solstice, very Christmassy. Dance of the Vernal Equinox, or like of the Spring Equinox. Dance of the Summer Solstice. Sorry about the glare. And Dance of the Autumn Equinox. So I want to stitch these all on like one big piece of pattern with all of their backs facing each other, so they'll all be looking out. Kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to be changing a lot of the colors on these too. Autumn, I might make her dress brown, but I don't know how well that will clash with the leaves on it. Spring is pretty good. I don't think I'd change anything, or if I do, not very much. Winter was also pretty good. Not too much I would change. But to me, this doesn't scream summer. I think I might make her more red or orange. I'm a little worried because of fall and or autumn and winter and how much red they have. I'm afraid that if I add too much red to summer, it will be really overpowering and clash against winter, or sorry, spring or vernal. But I don't really care if there's like too much red. Like I may or may not change more colors, less colors. I just want to pick colors that feel more representative of the season to me. So yeah, so that was something. So I took a piece of the 28 count that I showed you, the bolt that I had in my last video, and I decided to try to dye it myself. So I'll insert pictures of these after I show them, but I'm going to try to show it to you first, but I doubt that with my lighting and just like the screen size I'll be able to show it to you properly. But this was the dyeing result. Here, like this. I used the powdered dye from Red. It's navy blue, I think, and I really love how this turned out. So the white, I just shoved it. I crinkled it all up and I put it in like one of those small like tin foil. I don't know if you can hear my phone buzzing. Like pans, like I think for making like bread or something, and I just packed this in there and poured the. I'm not very good at describing. I poured the powder on it, and then I poured like hot water on top of it, and then I just kept like adding more water and then emptying it out and adding more water and emptying it out. But yeah, so I love the way this turned out, and so I kind of wanted it to go for like a spacey look, like they were like floating in space or surrounded by the sky or something like that. And the white part in the center, I think kind of looks like a star, like it has vaguely a star shape, and I think that's so cool. And so the corners were a lot lighter. They were more like this blue here, and so I just re-dipped them in the, like, so after I took like the fabric out, there was still like liquid left, and I like re-dipped the corners of this to make them darker, to like really emphasize the white here. And so like I dipped the four corners, and then like I spread a little bit here, so it would just help emphasize like the star shape. But I also really like this because it almost looks like a face. Oh gosh, like it kind of like creepy, like an alien face, but it kind of looks like there's a face, so it almost kind of looks like a body too. So I could not be happier with the way that this looks, and I can't wait to stitch them on this. And that'll be, and oh man, it's just gonna be so cool. Probably won't get done for 5 years, but it'll be so cool. And then this piece is smaller, and it was like wrapped up inside of this, or maybe it was on top. I can't quite remember. So I used the same dye bath because I wanted them to match since they're all made by the same designer and have like the same theme going. And so I'm happy with this one too. So I'll insert the pictures that I took so you can see them a little bit better now. Okay. And then, so I started the equinox, and I got basically her bra area, and a little bit, I started the moon, and then I gridded this, but I kind of just did like the worst gridding ever, because I hate gridding. So don't focus on that too much. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to try to continue to work on this one, just because to me it feels like it has more of importance and significance, and I want to like cement that weekend that I had with my dad. So yeah, so I'm going to keep working on that one. Probably, like I said, I won't start the equinoxes and solstices for a long time. But yes, I wanted to work on the eclipse, dance of the total eclipse in the car, but because like the fabric shrunk, it's like closer to a 32 count, and that would have been really hard to stitch in the car because I kind of get motion sickness in the car while stitching. So I decided to take something else, and I was really sad like that my pattern didn't arrive on time, that it couldn't work and blah blah blah, but it's probably for the better, or for the best. So the thing I worked on instead is my Rising Phoenix. I had this in like my first video where I showed all my projects from January that I had to date. Let me see if I have it here. Sorry, I have all my patterns off to the side here. Yeah, it's from this book. I know it's published other places. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but I'm going to show you the finished picture. So this is what it's supposed to look like. Here's the information on it. It's Rising Phoenix. It's designed by Carol Thornton. So I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like before the trip now. Okay, and this is as far as I got. I did all the gridding like Friday night before we left Saturday morning. Yeah, so I got all of this orange done, and I got pretty much all this done, and it looks so good. I wanted to finish the whole face of the bird, but I lost the eye color, and like I didn't have the beak color that I'm missing. But oh well, I still got a lot done. And here you see that strip of yellow, like this one here. That will always have a lot of significance to me because I started that seconds after the moon started to cover the sun, and like it was just like this teeny tiny sliver. My dog is, the bad dog is barking. And I finished like the final stitch of that yellow seconds before the total eclipse. Like I finished it, and I put on my glasses, and I looked up, and like everybody started cheering. It was total eclipse, and it was so cool. Be right back. Okay, all it was a package arrived. I just have two less things to talk about, and then I'll be done, and my battery is seriously dying. So there's this one, which I don't know if I've talked about very much in the past. I said before, and I'll say it again, I don't have a picture to show you of this, and I really don't have a lot of information. I found this pattern, and I found this pattern, and I have it on my computer, but as for like the origin of it, or who designed it, or any of that stuff, I don't know. Like I honestly don't remember. But it's just such a pretty piece that like I wanted to stitch it, so I'm very sorry if you want to stitch it. I literally don't have that information to give you. But it's a Capricorn, and it's all purple, and I'm stitching it on purple fabric, and I got a purple frame for it. And so I don't have pictures, or at least I'm not going to put in pictures of where it was before. But basically, I've just slowly been working on this. So I finished the tail, and then I finished the arms, and I finished the face, and then, so now the centerpiece is all done, and I'm just working on like this border that it has, because it has like this border on it that it's kind of like a big oval in like this light purple color, and then it has like two diamonds or like arrows, like arrowhead kind of things on the bottom and on the top, and it has just kind of like the like feathery leaf like decorations that you'd see in like intricate woodworking. So hopefully that'll be a finish in my next video I can show you, and hopefully it'll be fully finished. But yeah, so I've been making good progress on it. Like, just this amount of the border was like 2 days worth of work, while trying to do homework, and I had classes and all that stuff, so it's not difficult at all. What else? Oh yeah, on the way, when we went to, me and my dad went to Oregon to see the total eclipse, because it wasn't here in California. There was a stitching shop on the way there, and it's called Uniquely Yours, like unique, like the word unique, and then like the name Lee, L-E-E, and then yours. And I didn't take any pictures because we arrived like half an hour before closing time, and we had to get to our hotel, and like my dad didn't even want to stop in the first place, but I'm like, Dad, it's right there, come on, pull over, da da da. It's kind of difficult to find. It's like you have to take like this exit on the freeway and then like loop back for like a mile. It's in an industrial building, and like you would have no idea it's a stitching place, but if like you were to try to, like, if you Google the place and you follow the directions, it'll take you there. Yes, the store was so beautiful. Like, it had so many things. My battery's gonna die. And so just really quick, I only have a few seconds. I bought this chart, which is The Stargazer by Nora Corbett. It's a Mirabilia. And I bought this one, which is Crystal Symphony, also by Nora Corbett, also by Mirabilia. And so I got those two patterns, and I got some Mill Hill beads that I need for a project, and I got some Whisper thread. And it's a really great store. I loved it. They have lavender and laces and Mirabilia stitched on the walls, and I was completely in awe. And they had lavender and lace Earth Angel on there, and I want to get that pattern now because it was so beautiful to see it stitched, and I wish I had a picture of it. But I think that's all. I don't have any more time, except one more quick thing. I found an ort jar that I really like. It has frogs on the top, so these will hopefully keep me from having to frog anything. I found this at a local thrift store. It was a little bit more expensive than I want to admit, but it's one of those stories where I thought about it. Like, I went to the store and I thought about it and I saw it and I didn't get it, and like a month later I'm like, I wonder if it's still there, and I went into the store and I found it, and I figured, well, it's still here and I'm still thinking about it, so I'm just gonna get it. And I did, and I really like it. I'm still filling out my old ort jar, and that's just floss that I had like left over from like a kit. But yeah, so hopefully that will be my new ort jar once I finish filling out my old one. It's really cute and I like it, and it has frogs on it. And I think that's all the time I have before my camera cuts out. Bye! Thanks for watching. And I read all your comments, and I really, I don't always like them, and I don't ever respond, but I do read them, and I do enjoy them, and just thanks for watching.